Hey, Diane. Welcome to the Evolving Experts Take a Stand series.
Thanks, Lisa. I'm so happy to be here.
So this is a special series that I created to really highlight my amazing clients that I learn from every day. And one of the most inspirational things about Diane is the stand that she takes. And it's a bit unique. So let me tell you a little bit about her, and then I'm going to have you share Diane, I'll have you share a little bit more. But we're super excited to be together just to kind of talk about this crazy thing around this crazy world of sales and money and asking for money. And Diane calls it sales money. So Diane has been working in the area of sales and marketing and entrepreneurship for 30 years. She has owned businesses, run businesses, coached business owners. She has trained sales, run sales organizations. She has really done it all. And when she came into my world, I was so excited to really hold the space for her in her unique capacity, which is in this idea of sales money. It's like, it's not just about sales, and it's not just about money, but it's the type of money. It's sales money. So welcome to the show, Diane, and tell us more about this stand that you take around sales money.
Oh, thanks, Lisa. Yeah, it's, I'm really passionate about sales, and I've been doing it for so long. And as you said, like in so many different ways. And there's so many people that teach sales and train sales, and there's sales tactics and tips and all that kind of stuff. But, why do people still not like selling? Why is there that fear? And so when I started to really break it down, it's not sales. Sales gets such a bad rap, the name sales. And what I really found is that it's the money piece. It's the sales money. It's the money part of sales that people really have a fear and this whole anxiety around. So I started working with people and really looking at the fears, the blocks, the myths, the mindset, all of that kind of stuff. And, you start saying, actually, it's not sales that I don't really like. It's all this other stuff that I didn't really know I had, but they attached it to sales.
Yes.
Kind of, yeah.
Yes. So true. So I put up a question, what do you fear most about selling? Because everyone, there's like a assumption nobody likes sales, right? Except for the crazy people that like it, but everybody else pretty much doesn't like it. Yeah. And so thanks. I'm excited. There's a bunch of people here. Hi, everybody. Nadine, and who else we have? And a couple other people. We can see all your comments, so feel free to respond to our question here, which is, what do you fear most about selling? What do you fear most about selling? What are the most common answers, Diane?
That probably the biggest thing is people really fear rejection. That's one of the things. But they don't want to be told that the person that they're selling to, their client, can't afford it, because to them it's a reflection of their value. So it's like somebody saying, oh, you're not valuable enough for me to give you that money. So it's kind of a little bit all, when people put themselves into the equation instead of the product or the service or their transformation that they're offering, all of a sudden it becomes this personal thing. So they don't want to be rejected. They don't want to be told it's not valuable. They don't want to be told any of those things. And all of a sudden it's not about the product or the service or whatever. It's about them. So
yes.
Quite often things related to that.
So they take it personally. So it's like, oh, they're rejecting me. And yes. And I love your distinction between, like, you really need to separate yourself. You really need to look at whatever it is you're selling. Like, and many people say don't take it personally, but that's one of those easier said than done things, don't you think?
Yes. Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. But I think one of the things that I find really interesting is, if somebody makes an offer and you hear all the objections. Oh, I don't know if I have time for this program, or I have to ask my significant other, or can I think on it, or I need to do research, whatever it is.
All the objections.
All the objections, all the things, right?
All the things.
And then one of those things will be, I don't know if I can afford it. I don't have the money. And all of a sudden it's, oh my God, I'm told that I don't, it's too expensive. Nobody can afford it. It's all about the money. It's all about the money. Except there were 5 other objections that all of a sudden didn't mean anything. But now as the salesperson or the business owner, it's all about money. It's all about money.
Oh, I love that. And so what you're saying, and Laura said what she hates most about selling is being seen as someone not caring about the best interest, having it be more about her than them. Yes, right. And you could see, Laura says, like, I could see that it's off, but it's real. It's so true. And I love what you're saying. And I'm inviting everyone too to please comment, what do you fear most about selling? And Diane will answer questions and things and comments later after we're done. But also while we're here, I love what you're saying, Diane, about how there'll be multiple objections or reasons why somebody might be saying no, or, but what you're saying is we as the business owner or the salesperson, we're all salespeople. Welcome, everybody. If we're a business owner, you're saying that we don't hear the other things. Like, we don't hear that they really want to talk to their spouse and like that dynamic, or we don't hear that there's like a timing issue for them. We just automatically go to it's the money part, and we make it about the money. Is that what you're saying?
That's exactly right. And if you start looking at the money piece as exactly what it is, it's really no different than the time objection, or I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can invest my time. Well, how is that different than I don't know if I can invest my money? To me, once you start looking at those things as kind of they're all on the same playing field, then you really understand. It might just be that the person has a fear to jump into that kind of program. And when they say money, they know that everybody backs away and that that's like a thing, not to talk about. But if you actually talk about it, it is very similar to time or, all the other objections that come up. So, it's a tool. It's not usually the thing.
Yeah. So I wrote down what does I don't have the money really mean, right? Yeah. It's like, right. So I hear you saying us like to really get up underneath that, because their money stuff's coming up and our money stuff's coming up, right? Right. Like there is this sort of thing that's happening.
Yeah. And I quite often I say to clients, get out of your own way. Like, you have clients that want to buy, they're asking you questions, help them work through whatever their issues are. If they say, I don't know if I should invest this much. So they're asking you to help them, show them the value, and that they can do it and they will get the transformation and there are results. And I'm going to help guide you through the process. That client is asking you, just like this they ask you, how much time does it take? Or, with my skill level, am I going to be able to do it? It's not really any different. It's just the way we approach it is very different. And yeah, if you kind of get out of your own way and take yourself out of the equation and really help your client understand and work through whatever the objection is, any of them, even if it is the money one, face it head on, deal with it like you would any other objection. And then you'll find out, because if you say, okay, let's take the money part out of it. Is this something you would invest your time, your effort? Can you see a result coming from this? And they'll say yes, or no. And then you kind of go from there.
Yeah. Take the money out of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something else that I've heard you say is that your ideal clients are looking for you and they'll pay what they believe the value is, which is higher than you think. So yes. Tell me about that.
There's so many people that, it's interesting how people come up with their prices, because they'll say, I looked at the competition, I looked at this, I'm not sure, I'm just starting out and this and this. But, if you really, really, really understand your clients, and that's the number one thing that you have to do is really understand your clients. And if you understand your clients and you know where they're looking and what they've been doing and how many years they've been looking for this result or this transformation, what right, the way I look at it is, what right do you have to not allow them to pay what they want to get the transformation that they're looking for. They could have paid thousands and thousands of dollars for years and never got what they really wanted. And if you have really listened and you know that you can do this for them, they will pay. They're willingly going to pay. Now, if you're talking to somebody who's not an ideal client, you're going to get all kinds of questions, not just about the money, but all kinds of things that kind of show you that it's not really your client. But if you're speaking your client's language, they will pay you. And quite often when clients, and I know you see this too, Lisa, when somebody gives their price, people will say, oh, I thought that was going to be a lot more, because they value it a lot more.
Yeah, and then you're like, darn it.
I know. Well, and even there's, I in some of the trainings that I do, I bring up this example of, there's people who believe if they have like a multi-million-dollar business and they're looking for a service, if somebody's charging $1,000 versus $5,000, they might just go, even though it looks like you can do the same, that person with $1 million business may go with a $5,000 offer just because they feel that they would understand them more. The 1,000 maybe isn't, 1,000 doesn't seem like enough to do what I want them to do. Maybe they don't have the skill level, even though they say they do. So some people will pay more because they see that as more valuable and more in line with what they need.
It's so true.
Yeah.
And then I always have to remind myself, like, we're talking about they, like they, and then I'm like, that's me. Like, I do that,
yeah,
right?
I know, I do that too. Yeah. I know. And it's funny that you say that, because I have people, and when I talk to clients and I'll say, when you're looking for something, would you, like a personal trainer, would you go to somebody who is $10 an hour?
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't, because why are they $10 an hour?
Exactly. Okay, so we want everybody to remember, like, how you invest, like how you value things, how you perceive things. Because if you like we have to remind ourselves that we do that we won't pay for we don't buy the cheaper thing, all the time. There's certain things, you're like, okay, it's whatever, it's like the same thing, it's with it, but most of the time, we will pay more because we want that perceived more value.
Right. And it really is our job as the business owner to explain and really have your ideal client understand the value that you're providing. And the value really is the result, the transformation. It's what they've been looking for. It's why they're in front of you right now talking to you about it.
Yeah. Lisa says, what are they going to give me for just $10? Right? Yeah.
Right, Lisa. Yeah.
And we have another commenter that said, the best advice Diane ever gave me was to know my worth. Yeah. It's so true. So true. So I wanted to ask you about this. You said that we have things we do to avoid asking for the sale. So I want to hear, and I want to pose this question to the audience here. What do you think that you do to avoid asking for the sale? And I want to just hear from you, Diane. What is it that you see? Like, what is it that you see? So let's have a conversation about this. Like, what do we do?
See what people put in the chat here, because I think sometimes people even don't know that they're avoiding the sale. So they'll be talking about their offer and they'll have had this great conversation, and their prospect is saying, yeah, this sounds great. This sounds great. And then they just keep talking and talking and talking.
So one of the things that we do is we just keep talking. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. And it's like, an example that I use is going into this beautiful place where, there's all these things to buy and there's no cash register and there's no place to buy it. So the person is waiting to actually be asked, because a lot of people want to be asked. If I ask you to be a client of mine, I'm valuing you as a client of mine as much as you're going to value the services I give you. So if I'm not going to ask you, sometimes they're thinking, do they not want to ask me? Like, is there a reason they're not asking me to be their client? They've told me how great their clients are. Maybe I don't fit the criteria. And the other thing that a lot of times, if the prospect doesn't say, sure, let's do this, I'm ready. Sometimes what the business owner will actually do is say, well, why don't you take a day and think about it? It's like they just said they wanted to be your client. And then the other thing is, even when there is a yes, quite often they'll just keep talking. Okay, this is great. It's going to be 10 weeks of this and this. And then the person is like, okay, I'm not sure, that this sounds like a lot. Maybe I need more time to think about it. So it's, instead of actually asking and then being quiet for a minute and then actually saying, yes, let's work together and let's do this, and creating that sale, that transaction. People just avoid it. They do all kinds of things. They'll put it off with time. They'll start throwing extra things in. They'll just keep talking and not give an opportunity. Probably the biggest thing is they just never, ever ask.
Yeah. What does the ask sound like?
So,
because like even in those examples that you were talking about, I didn't hear, and you weren't, that wasn't the purpose of the examples, but I do think that it's like, what exactly does it sound like? I know, like, I've been doing this. I realized I forgot to introduce myself. So I'm Lisa Cherney, host of the GFR show, unmentor, 22 years of helping people express unapologetically in their marketing, in their business. And I have to tell you that I know what it sounds like, when I actually like get to the very specific point and I'll say, okay, so how do you want to take care of that? Or which credit card do you want to use? Or, do you want to do one payment or two? Or like, I just kind of, and I know that wasn't easy. I want y'all to know that was not easy for me always from the beginning. I remember being like, oh my God, but so what does it sound like in your world, Diane? Or what ways can we, like, what does it actually sound like to ask for the money, or to ask, is it asking for the money or asking for the sale, or how would you even put it?
Yeah, if you kind of look at the ask as a couple different parts, if you've gotten commitment all along and they're really interested, saying things like, oh, this is great, it sounds like you're really interested, we can go ahead and save your spot right now. I'll need a deposit. We can talk about payment, but are you ready for me to save your spot right now?
Great, so I love that.
Yeah. And then the other is, because again, like, let's take the money part out of it. We can figure out how you're going to pay for it. And I'm going to give you those options, but I want your yes first. I'd love to work with you. Are you feeling the same? Are we on the same page? Are we ready to move forward? Because I am. I think this would be great. I can do your intake next week if you're ready.
Love that.
Let's get it in the calendar right away.
Yeah, so it's interesting because you're not even really, in a couple examples you gave, you're not even actually talking about the transaction.
No, because
you're just getting the commitment.
That's right. So now they're committed. Okay, yeah, I can probably do an hour next week. Okay, so let me tell you the payment plans. You can either pay up front and this is what you get, or I have this and this and this. What's going to work best for you? Because you've already made the commitment. Now it's like, do you have time, which I'm going to put in the calendar, and let's figure out the money, because those are just tools for us to be able to work together. It's not the reason that you're making that. You're investing in yourself because of the conversation we had. You're investing your time, you're investing your effort, your heart, your soul, all of those things. Money is one of those things that you're investing.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing you say is almost like a two-phase process for asking.
Yeah.
For the money, or asking that ideal client or giving them that offer. I'm hearing you get like a commitment or like an agreement, or like, I want to work with you. Does this sound good to you? Yeah. Like, we could totally talk about the money later. We can work it out. But like, so I'm hearing, is that right? Am I hearing that right? Almost like a two-phase process.
Yeah, and it is. And if you look at really the whole conversation, you're talking about that all along. Right. So that when you're asking for that commitment at the end, they've already said yes a whole bunch of times before. Am I hearing you right? Does this sound right? Okay, we can customize it to make it fit you this way. Is that something you'd be looking for? Have you done that before? How can we make this better? And they're saying, yes, 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 that sounds good. No, I need it to change. I don't know if I can start next week, but I can start in 2 weeks. Like, you've already had all those conversations. So then the money piece is, okay, so we're in agreement, let's move ahead. And they'll say, okay, now I need to know how much it costs and what it's all about, which to me is saying the same kind of thing as, how many weeks is it? What do I need to do? Is there going to be homework every week? It's the same kind of conversation.
Okay, I just have to pause and underscore this for everybody, because this is your brilliance. This is your brilliance. You're saying the money part just like you're saying the other stuff. How many weeks is it? How many hours? When are the things? And in the way that you hold money, because that's what makes you brilliant, is it's just like just another detail. Yeah. Right? People get over the fact that it's money. You know, it's like, it's just another detail.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. And if somebody wanted to work with me for 4 hours, the question is it all at once, or is it an hour a time over 4 weeks? So it's the same with money. Is it all at once, or am I paying you over 4 weeks? It's, you know, that's a tool. That's a tool that you're using that can help you connect with the person. You're listening to their situation, you're understanding, and you're giving to them. You know, you're going to provide value and transformation. You're not going to hold them hostage because of money.
Ah, I love that. I love that. It's just, yeah. Are you going to pay it all at once? Or are you going to pay in installments? Or just like, are we going to talk for an hour, or are we going to break? I love that. I love that. And this is really landing with the people that are watching. I like that. Plus, it solves the money objection. Veronica says, great insights. Welcome, Veronica. Yeah, I feel like this is stuff that is really not talked about, Diane. That's what I really appreciate about your approach. Because it's not like, oh, I'm going to answer the objection and, you know, and like all that stuff. It's like, it really gets at up underneath where we mind F ourselves, right? Isn't it? Right. It's like where we, as the salesperson, the entrepreneur, where we're like, oh my God, blah, blah, you know, whatever. And you're just like, no, you're just going to talk to them just like, when is your next appointment? It's going to be like, okay, is it one payment or two?
Yeah. And I think that's why, you know, when I say you have to get out of your own way, a lot of times it is your stuff. Like, you know, there was a conversation in one of the groups I had, and they were talking about a cleaning lady, you know, and the value of that cleaning lady. And you can't imagine, well, you probably can't imagine the prices that people are willing to pay for a cleaning lady, from low to very, very high. And it has to do with how they value their time, how we value our time. So, you know, you can't reach in somebody's pocket. You can't tell them what their budget is. You can't tell them what they should and shouldn't value. Your job, you know, the reason you're here and your purpose is to bring about transformation. It's to provide results. It's to show people that there is a way for them to get what they're looking for. And, you know, you're putting a value on it, whatever, you know, you've come up with from your price. But that person could think it's significantly, just like we said, significantly higher value. They'll say, I've never had anybody talk to me like this before. I've never had these results. This is worth way more. You should be charging more. And a lot of times clients will say, oh, every time I've worked with clients, they always tell me I should be charging more. Then why aren't you? Then
why aren't you
charging more?
Yeah. And if you all have heard that, you need to be working with Diane, because totally. I want to talk about the really helping people to explore this I hate money thing. So you have a quiz, right, that will help people figure this out. Do they really hate sales? Not hate money, sales. Do they really hate sales? Do they not? Like, so tell us about the quiz.
Yeah. So the quiz it's do I love sales? And usually everybody says, no, I do not love sales. I've built it, and the results that I'll give you from it are really to help you look at a couple different areas. And I look at, there's kind of 3 parts of the whole process.
Okay.
And one of it is about clients. First of all, are you talking to the right clients? Because if you're just kind of throwing it out there and you're getting all these crazy questions, you're not talking to the right people.
And then of course you don't like sales because you're not talking to the right people. Yeah.
And
point.
yeah, and it's not a fit, right? So clients are one part of it.
Okay, that's one.
So then, yeah, so if you are talking to the right clients, then that's the right thing. So it's kind of an understanding of that. And then the ask. Do you stumble over the words? You know, is it when you get to that part, that's the part that makes you just feel sick and anxious? And, you know, is it the ask? Is it, you know, you can talk about your offer and you can talk about what you do and your services and everything. But as soon as it comes to the ask, and is it the ask for money? Is it the ask for commitment? Is it that you're not sure what your price is and your value? So it's kind of trying to even separate that part, which is the ask, and the money part.
Got it. So clients and then the ask. And so, right. So just for you just joining us, Diane has this quiz, and I remember when she first told me about it, it's the Do I Love Sales quiz. And I'm like, Diane, no one's going to want to take this quiz. But I think everyone now should take this quiz because you will have an awakening that you actually don't hate it as much as you think you do. And through these different areas, which we still have one to go over, you're going to actually see, oh, it's just I don't have the words for the ask. And that's what I don't like. So I don't really not like sales, or I'm not talking to the right people and they're kind of grumpy and they're not really, they don't want what I have. So of course I'm not enjoying it. It's not that I don't love sales. So what's the third area for the quiz?
That's the biggest one. That's the money mindset.
Okay. Oh, the money mindset.
Yeah. So if I'm okay talking to people and I'm talking to the right people and I actually put out my offer and I ask, when I have to do the money piece, that's what freaks me out. When I have to put a price on my services, that's what freaks me out. When I don't think I'm as good as the competition, that's what freaks me out. So those all have to do with finding your value, knowing your price, being able to represent what you do in a money form, even though you don't like to think of it that way, right? But there is a money component, or else it's a hobby.
Yes, I love this. And so take this quiz, y'all, because you're going to find out that you actually love sales more than you think you do. And and you'll look at the quiz is going to help you look at the 3 areas, and the results will be the start of an awareness of you unraveling those blocks that prevent you from really leaning into sales, which y'all is kind of non-negotiable when it comes to having your own business.
That's right. Yeah. And I mean, if you're not working with clients that you love and you're not getting the money that you deserve to get, you're not going to be in business for very long. You're either not going to like it, or you're not going to be able to afford to do what you love to do. So, you know, let's figure out exactly what it is. What part of it is hanging you up? And if it is just the one money part, then let's come up with words that make sense to you, that flow easily, that are authentic to you. And that's like what you said about the selling piece. You know, there's lots of people out there who do sales, who teach sales and the tactics and the closes and all the different things. But until you figure out the part that's really blocking you, no matter what tactics you use, you're going to run into the exact same thing over and over and over. So you might as well solve it and then be authentic.
Yes.
And then be authentic with the words and everything that you're doing.
Yes. You know, this is why you and I get along so well, because I'm all about GFR, get effing real, get out of your own way, right? Figure out what story you're telling yourself that's keeping you from doing shit you don't like and hating marketing and all that. And you're all about get out of your own way when it comes to sales and really figure out what it is exactly that is keeping you from leaning into that. And so it's all about us getting out of our own way, right?
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
So take that quiz, y'all. Do I Love Sales quiz. Diane's website is successbyalchemy.com. Successbyalchemy.com. And then the last thing I wanted to ask you, Diane, because this is the Evolving Experts Take a Stand series. What are you taking a stand for with this work?
I am taking a stand for having entrepreneurs and business owners do what they love to do and be able to do it and get the money they deserve. So it's really, I want to really, it's awful when I see that, the part of the business that people can't do, and a lot of times why people don't go into business or they get out of business is what they call sales. It has to do with sales. And I think if everybody really understood that it's a transformation, it's a result, it's, you want to work with people who want to work with you. And the transaction part is money. There has to be some sort of exchange. There's exchange of energy. There has to be an exchange for money, or else it's not valued from the clients that are receiving it. And then you're not able to do what you do in the world. So I take a stand. Sales won't talk for itself, so I'm talking for sales. But I'm also, I also really want to speak for the business owners that know what they love to do and just cannot figure out how to get more clients or how to close or how to make the sales and how to do that interaction that they just are really fearful to do. So that's, that's my purpose. That's why I'm here. I know. And it's like, come on, everybody.
I speak for sales. Like you're the Lorax of the sales.
You don't have, because it's like sales and sleazy, all the awful words that are put with sales, right? And it's when you're inauthentic and when you're, not really caring about the person that you're dealing with, then, it's, of course it's awful, but there's other things that are awful too. If people aren't compassionate, if they're not there for the right reason, it just so happens that sales is an easy thing to throw in the bucket with all the other, brutal things about business.
Well, thank you for standing for sales and being the voice, its voice, and also the stand that you're taking for entrepreneurs that have to find a way and have to get out of their own way when it comes to that, or they're not going to really have a business.
Yes.
So go to Diane's site. It's right there on the home page. It says Take Quiz.
Yes,
successbyalchemy.com. Take the quiz. You'll get the awesome results and a way to also connect with Diane personally. If you get the chance, I say take it. I've learned a lot with her being in my orbit. And so any final words for the folks who are resonating? So all the comments have been amazing here.
I see there's even Ron has like the whole, I know he's a sales professional, so he kind of gets it too.
Cool.
So I really appreciate all the comments and everybody listening in. I think, what I really want to say is, if you're meant to do something, then you find ways to do it. And this is one piece that a lot of people kind of put to the side because they're so fearful and they just come up with, I can't do it. And I've tried all kinds of things and I can't do it. There's always a way. And, it's in you. If it's in you to be able to serve and be able to, provide whatever your passion is for all the people that you want to provide it, there is a way. And, hopefully you're going to find your way to be able to get through whatever it is and be able to serve more people and not just serve, because somebody was saying, they give their services away. Not just serve people, but serve in a way that you're also being served. You deserve to be paid something because what you're providing is so valuable. So it's remembering that piece, that you have so much value and there's so many people who want to work with you. So find a way to make it work.
Amen. Yes. Yes. Thank you so much, Diane. This has been a blast, and I know everybody got amazing value. And I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thanks, Lisa. Thanks so much. I appreciate it.